When people think of war, their minds often picture tanks, airplanes, and explosions. But for centuries, another kind of war has quietly unfolded in the shadows. A war without visible bullets, relying instead on organisms invisible to the naked eye. This is the story of biological warfare, humanity's attempt to turn disease into a weapon. Early beginnings, disease as a weapon. The use of disease as a weapon was not a modern idea. Historical records suggest that even in the Middle Ages, some armies deliberately employed tactics involving contamination. One of the most notable incidents occurred in 1346, when Mongol forces besieging the city of Kaffa, present-day Feodosia, Crimea, were reported to have catapulted the corpses of plague victims over the city walls. While historians still debate the scale of the outbreak, this event demonstrates how disease was perceived as a tool of warfare even in pre-scientific times. In the 18th century, another controversial case arose during the conflicts of North America, where blankets associated with smallpox were reportedly used to weaken local indigenous populations. Surviving documents from the time suggest that the concept of contaminating populations as a strategy did exist, although historians continue to assess the true extent and impact. The 20th century, science and the military converge. With advances in science, understanding of microorganisms became deeper, opening a grim door that militaries were eager to explore. During World War I, some nations reportedly attempted to disrupt enemy livestock using diseases, though these programs never reached widespread effectiveness. One of the darkest chapters took place between the 1930s and 1945, when Unit 731 of the Japanese military conducted horrific experiments in Manchuria, northeastern China. Documents and later testimonies reveal that these experiments caused immense human suffering, serving as a warning of how science can be twisted when ethics are abandoned. The Cold War, the secret arms race. After World War II, the world entered an era of intense rivalry, the Cold War. Both the United States and the Soviet Union developed biological research programs under the guise of defense. Facilities like Fort Detrick in the U.S. and Vector in Siberia became symbols of the merging of scientific research and national security. Although officially focused on defensive purposes, these programs were shrouded in secrecy. A widely publicized event was the 1979 Sverdlovsk incident, now Ekaterinburg, Russia, where an accidental release of dangerous pathogens caused numerous deaths. Decades later, investigations confirmed that a military facility was responsible, a stark reminder of the risks inherent in such clandestine work. Failed attacks and global alarm. The history of biological warfare is not limited to state actors. In 1984, a religious cult in Oregon, USA, deliberately contaminated food to influence a local election. An attack considered the largest biological incident on U.S. soil, although it resulted in few fatalities. The plot ultimately failed, and the perpetrators were caught. These events reinforced the understanding that threats could come not only from nations but also from groups or individuals seeking to instill fear. International agreements, efforts to stop the threat. Growing awareness of these dangers led to international agreements, most notably the Biological Weapons Convention, 1972, which bans the development and stockpiling of biological weapons. While this treaty was a significant step forward, questions about monitoring and enforcement remain, as full verification is inherently difficult. Modern era, defense and ethics. Today, the focus of biological research is prevention and rapid response. High-security laboratories study pathogens to develop vaccines and safety protocols. However, ethical debates continue, especially when research treads the fine line between defense and potential misuse. Recent global outbreaks remind the world that pathogens know no borders. International collaboration, transparency, and ethical responsibility have become essential pillars in preventing history from repeating itself. Conclusion: lessons from history. The story of biological warfare is one about the power of knowledge and the responsibility that comes with it. History has shown that when science diverges from ethics, the consequences can be catastrophic. Yet science also holds the power to save countless lives. Ultimately, the question is not only what humans are capable of doing, but how they choose to wield that capability. The shadow of biological warfare remains a reminder True progress is measured not just by what we can do, but by how responsibly we use our knowledge.